Well, here we go again. It's always heights. So that had some decorative thing on there. Half of it was missing. I tore the bottom piece off. We're just gonna make it straight. I think that'll be the easiest solution on that. Hey, wrong way. Where are you going, machine? That is not good. That's not the direction I'm telling it to go. Well, that's great. I guess it only turns this way now. Ah! That's weird. Okay, that would be fine if I want to go that way, but I don't. Well, Houston, we have a problem already out of the get-go here. Only wants to turn one direction. That's your luck. I know. It worked perfect a minute ago. And now, no matter what I do, oh, that's great. Guess what? Even the upper raise and lower controls only go one direction. Stranded in the XA again. Hang on. See if I can figure this dumb thing out. Crisis averted. I know it's saying general fault, but I shut the thing off and started it back up again. So lesson learned. If it messes up, shut it off, turn it back on again, and you may actually get it to work. There we go. That's the direction I'm gonna go. All right. So anyway, hopefully this thing will work because I got it for the week. I got a lot to do. Anyway, this house, I did do the roof on it with Joel, just the two of us, and I see one end shingles getting a little bit funky. But anyway, we did that EPDM roof on there, and it's been quite a while ago, and it's still holding up pretty good. So I'm pretty happy with that. Let's see if I can get over the power lines. Get over. Yay, we made it. So yeah, it had a board coming out here, like going right along here, and then up, and that little detail up here. Well, we don't need that, so we're just going to run a 2x4 across, run a couple blockers up in there, put some ply up in there, cover it up. So let's get started on that. Okay, so I gave Josiah the measurements. It's actually 47.5 inches across from there to there. So he made a measurement on the piece of plywood 47 over, and then from the center line I gave him a measurement of 25 inches up. So now he found the center at the bottom and top, you know, right there where the cross of his point is. So you measure over 23.5 over, 23.5 over, 25 up, and you find your point there. And now there's the fun part, trying to do this with one person, because you can't put your chalk line at the very corner because he's in an inch. So you got to try to do three hands here at once. It's a little challenging. Did it work?
No, it's just not on the corner, so it's hard.
I know, that's what I was just saying. Unless you want to get the 4-foot level and run it, might make it easier for you. So anyway, that'll give me the triangle. It should fit up in here, I'm hoping. If I measured right. It might be too high. I think I might be too high. I might hit right in here. I don't mind being a little high. So anyhow, I'm going to put blockers and all these there across here, and after we put this triangle piece on, we'll just cut these pieces of ply and put them in there. So we'll do that now. Well, it's not gorgeous. It's not going to win a beauty contest, that's for sure, but at least it's closed off. I got a little bit of primer on it. Now we're going to pack this thing up and take it to the next job, which is real fun. It's a barn. Yay! On the farm again. Well, it's been quite a week since having this machine. I've gotten a lot done. You saw the first couple of stops I had made.
over there at that house. I did the gable end and then doing Farmer Jim's around his place. But after that, I went and I did about 5 dusk to dawn lights in the lady's yard. Kind of pieced some together and got 4 operating. That's the main ones she wanted to get done. So that machine worked out perfect for that. A lot safer than climbing a pole. And so I got that done. And then, oh, what else did we do? Oh, went over to Jeff's, the one that has the Airbnbs and the ones up in Conneaut. So we went up there to one of his house, not Conneaut, but we went to a place he has more locally that's a rental, and some shingles were blown off and it needed some patching around the chimney. And I didn't get any footage of that because I didn't want to scare anybody. I was running parallel with the power lines. So a thing you do got to watch when you set this machine up is things like power lines. So the power lines were running along parallel like this next to the machine, but it was I was just within tolerance of safe distance from the power lines, but I had to make sure I ran the first section up, because that first section pulls away, and it pulled it away from the power lines before I turned. So once I got that boom up, I could make safely the turn and have the boom far enough away from the power lines. But it was literally a game of inches as to where to place it. Anyway, it was kind of a fun job, but I couldn't have done it really without it. I mean, I'd been up there years ago and I made one mistake. I gotta weld that. Forgot to unhook it. Anyway, I've been up there once before and I won't ever go up there again without a machine like this, because it's just not safe. That worked out perfect. So got all that done. Then I didn't really shoot much except for fixing the chimney at the house I bought that I'm gonna make an Airbnb out of. And I did a whole bunch of work around there. We painted all the upstairs windows, caulked them, cleaned them, sealed up all the little mortar cracks in it. I'll kind of show you around a little bit. Did a bunch of little odds and ends with the machine. It took a couple of days actually of messing around. So now this is my last day. It's not a very nice day, but
I gotta actually get this tree. This tree is just, I love this tree, don't get me wrong, but it's too close to my house.
you can see it's too close to the house. It wasn't that big when I built the house, but this tree has been loving life because there's somewhat of a spring underneath here.
Somewhere in here.
When we dug the basement out,
Everything from the tree over to the house, this all sloughed off into the basement.
so that means that it was really loose and it was actually kind of wet there. So when we backfilled all this area, we backfilled it with a ton of gravel. I filled my gravel.
It's all the way up. There's nothing. If you dig down here, you'll find nothing but gravel.
So I have drainage all the way down. But that also means this tree is loving life because it's getting water and it's going to grow through this channel
Right through here and into my footer.
in my drain, my former drain, which it probably has by now, because if you look, the boughs
They're definitely over the house. So I hate to lose it, but it's got to go. I'm going to try to probably log this guy because it's an oak.
It's a nice pin oak and it's straight. So anyway, I got to try to see how high I can get up there and knock some of them limbs back
And figure how I'm going to safely drop this thing. Because I really only think I've got one way to go with this. And that is probably right through there. Although I could take it right through here, but that's a dicey situation with the house.
So depending on how high I can get and how safe it is to drop it, if nothing else, if I take the limbs off today, I'll be a happy camper. We'll go from there. So let me get started. Well, we're making some headway. Can't quite get to the top of that tree, but I can get quite a lot of it.
Little girl barely been pulling some branches here. I'm cutting faster than she can clear them. Well, I got to clean up all this mess and get this machine moved a little closer so I can get up there a little further and get that. That looks pretty high from here, don't it? All right, back to work.
We got a plan. I'm only taking that limb off, but you can see how high it is. That's as high as I can reach, is that limb, that rope. Well, the girl's got just enough oomph, I think, to pull that.
Got a finger rope here. Let's go up and see how this thing is. I could show you what this machine is like when straight up and down. Real pleasant.
I gotta say, doing this tree versus that maple, there's a world of difference.
I think I much rather like that maple. This oak is so knotty, the branches intertwine with each other no matter what you do. Just a royal pain in the neck. You know, like even when she's moving it down there, they all knot up in each other and want to grab the next limb. So much harder than that maple. Obviously, I knew it would cut harder because it's a oak, but still, still kind of surprised me how gnarly and nasty this was to do. But let me tie this rope, fling it down to her. I'll be right back. Don't ask me what kind of knot that is. I have no idea. I don't really know how to tie a knot. I just tie knots. And apparently the little girl has to untie them down there. And man, this is such a lovely day out. Just absolutely gorgeous out. I'd go back as far as you can, but good bird's eye view of the garage I built for John. I still don't like that. Will this take us away? Yes. I would think so. Okay. Give her some pull. I mean, we don't want to go around. Huh? Oh, the feet will do better than that. Oh, that's nice. Coming. Timber. Oh, oh. Well, I kept it off the house. Here it comes. Give it a pull. Just where I wanted it. Woo! Not bad. Not good, not bad. Love the Makita. It just kind of, if you get it caught on a branch like that, it'll sometimes, I didn't do it that time, of course. It'll go bind up or whatever you want to call it. But I got most of this tree down with this thing. It's on the second set of batteries. See? Alright. Well, I don't think I can take too much more off this side. So I'm maxed out on my height. And I don't mind having some weight that way. Alright, a little bit of a scary game with that much over top of me. But got it notched. Got the rope tied to the truck with the little girl in there, scared as can be. And really hoping for the best here. I'm going to try to back up a little bit.
Talk to me before you cut the backside.
Absolutely. Alright, how's my position? Cut. Could be a little bit closer. But I'm not real happy with being any closer. Alright, I think I'm in a good position. I do think it needs just a little more tension though. If you could just back up a little bit.
Okay, before I do, I'm concerned that I may pull the bottom out toward the tree, but then the limbs at the top are going to come down and hit you. So I need you to hit the deck or be prepared to be batted around like a mouse. Or will you move or something? I don't know.
Problem is I can't move that quick.
I'm still unhappy. I'll back up a little bit.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, that's good. Right there. She's not happy, neither am I. Let me go check tension on this thing. There's really not that much tension on it, believe it or not. Go ahead and back a little more.
It's probably around the tree.
It must be, because there's not a ton of tension here.
No, I think it's going to break before it's effective. Just keep backing up.
Okay. Oh. I guess you're going to have to back up some more. Well, so much for this. This isn't working. We got to come up with a better plan. Well, now we know we got to come up with a better plan.
My plan is leave the rope where it's at and do it another day, and at least it's roped off. I mean cutting it from the bottom, not the top.
To be continued. Well, I have to apologize to you guys. Poor little Miss Lisa. She was scared and she wanted to try to film me taking the tree down. And apparently I'm going to blame GoPro because they're not here, and she is, and she's little, but she's tough, and I don't really want her to kill me, so it was the GoPro's fault. Yeah, anyway, did not get the film footage of oh, I'm sorry guys, but as you will see in the video clip after this, she was pretty stressed out and upset. But it actually went textbook. It all went well. So as you remember, I had that rope tied and I had it around that big triple maple, and that wasn't working because I had too much of it going around that tree, heading too much of an angle over to here. So that wasn't working. Plus I had on this end down in here, I had a smaller rope. So I eliminated the smaller rope. I took to this maple right here, I had a chain around it with a come along, and that made that a straight line to here and only one turn. I wish I had a snatch block, which is just like a pulley I could have mounted there, and it would have really made it better. But this worked. I put a lot of tension on it. That worked really well, and then notched this out real good, as you can see. And well, you know, when I cut my chainsaw, it cuts a slight bit of an angle. All of them, I think, do, but because every chainsaw I ever had did. I cut some this way. My chainsaw wasn't big enough, so I had to cut a little of the wedge from this side, and they don't line up. But it still worked. It was mostly cut out. But at any rate, you can see I wedged it, and by putting 3 wedges in it, just cut and wedge it, cut, wedge, it went right over perfect. I mean, exactly where I wanted it. I wasn't about to dig this old trailer out. It's a turd. I've had it forever, paid $100 for it, and 20 years ago, maybe, no, probably 30 years ago, it hit the tongue, but it bent the tongue a little bit. But, you know, it became a yard trailer 15 years ago. I could fix that, actually, if I ever even use it. I haven't used it in years. So, anyhow, I'd say that's a success. Didn't hit anything important. This tree, about 75 feet, I guess. Yeah, it's about 75 feet and not quite 2 feet in diameter, but definitely not a fun one. But I mentioned earlier it was a pin oak, and everybody always says, hey, cut it up for logs. Well, I never really knew about a pin oak, what kind of wood it really was, but it's no good. If you look at these rings, now I can't find it, of course, the growth pattern, like from here to here, the growth pattern is crazy.
It grew really super fast. There's another one's even bigger than that. So there's not, I mean, each of those growth rings are huge. So the thing about pin oak is being it grows so fast, it makes your grain really big. So if you cut it into a log, what happens is you may have like 60 of in a piece of wood, 60 different grains running through it, but you're only gonna have 20 in a pin oak in about the same dimension of piece of lumber, just to give you an idea. So the graining doesn't look good, but problem is these tend to break off when you cut it into logs. Now this is of course according to the internet, but I've seen logs do that where they'll split after you cut them and break off a section of the grain, and so it really just doesn't have a very good look, and it tends to fall apart there, like kind of like that. So anyway, I guess for that reason it's not a very good wood to cut, so it's not worth milling. Some guys say they won't even mill it, and then of course you got all these little suckers, these little branches, so you're gonna have knot. Even though it's a nice straight log, this will actually get me more money heating my house than it will ever at a sawmill. I mean, you figure for the price of electric, gas, and such, this guy here will save me probably $200-300 easily in heating. You're not going to get that out of that log, so to the fire it is. Anyway, let's cut to the clip and you can see how my poor little girl, she's been through thick and thin with me. I'll tell you, she's tough. I mean, she's somebody you want with you when you're like climbing a mountain or backpacking in the wilderness. She's a trooper, and she will stick with it when it comes to work. She's a hard worker, and I love her for it. But this stressful stuff she worries about, between the not hitting the house and not me getting killed, she's you'll see. All right, see you guys. Oh, the girl's crying. She don't like this stress. Oh. Poor thing.
Is it twice this year?
Twice this year, yep, 2 big trees. Oh, nerve-wracking. I don't want to do anymore. Can we just,
last time.
can we call it quits now and not have to do any more of these? I'm game to not have to do that. Oh, you poor thing. I know, I was stressed. I don't even want to think about that big man. Oh, that big pin oak over there is up against the back room and hanging over the garage and over the deck and over the neighbors. I ain't doing that one. I call it. I'm done. You know, funny thing is, moved out here, this tree was not that big. It wouldn't have been hard to take it down at all. Yeah, and the guy running dozer told me, you better, I don't know. He goes, you better take that thing down. I said, no, I don't want to take it down. I like that tree. I wish I'd listened to him. So listen to your excavator operators. They know what they're doing. Oh man, I am so glad that's done. I think we can relax now. Oh man, I'm dead. I'm done.